Alright everyone, so this is the DIY Rojo. I have a video for you. So I bought a 2007 GMC Yukon Denali. It's got the 6.2 liter motor. I believe this is non-AAFM, non-active fuel management. And it's been having the low oil pressure light, the dreaded one. My oil pressure does not go up to 40 like it should. And what I did is I did do an oil change out the filter, fresh oil. It seemed to run okay, but I did have a code. It was P0011, which is the camshaft having advanced timing. And now what I've done is I've switched out the sensor for the oil pressure sensor, and it did improve a little bit, but still it's not working out for me. There was no screen under that sensor, so I don't have to worry about that, but I'm still worried that there's a little bit of sludge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try out this Amsoil Engine and Transmission Flush. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I am going to test it out. And then I'm actually going to add the Amsoil Signature Series 5W30 oil with the new filter from Napa. And I believe the filter is actually a Wix fabricated filter with the Napa logo on it. I've heard the Wix filters are really good to catch any debris, any gunk that is in the engine. But let me show you. This car has about 154,000 miles on it. There's the odometer, and here's how it runs. Let me show you how it runs right now. So you can see the oil pressure does not swing up to 40 right away, and right now it's hovering right below 20. And so this is the issue. So pretty much this is going to be part one of this video. Like I said, I've already changed out the oil pressure sensor. That did not work. I already did an oil change. It seemed to make it somewhat better, but this is what I'm dealing with right now. As of right now, the check engine light has not come back on. I usually get that dreaded stabilitrak service light, and then I get the check engine light. You can see the gauge is dropping on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and add the Amsoil Engine Flush to it. And let me show you what I'm going to use also. So let me go ahead and come over here. And these are the products that I'm going to use. I got the Napa Gold filter, which is supposed to be a Wix filter. And I'm going to use this Amsoil Synthetic Motor Oil 5W30. I've heard it has a lot of good detergents. And hopefully it should work on this vehicle. But I also want to show you something which I think is really interesting. One thing about this car is when you check the oil level, the oil level is always high, and I didn't really know that about these cars. I don't have a lot of background. It's kind of hard to tell. Sorry, my finger's in the way. It's kind of hard to zoom it, but I'm not sure if you guys have dealt with this, but the oil level goes up really high above the last dot. I'm used to having cars that have like filters, like not filters, but where you could take the dipstick and it should be in between like the low mark and the high mark. Apparently this one has a high mark, but when you put in the 6 quarts of oil, which it requires for the 6.2 liter, it goes above that. Let me see if I can give you a better shot of it in just a second. Alright, so I just took out the dipstick, and you can see the oil, it actually goes above the last little dot right there. And I guess that's typical of these cars, so just so you know, I guess it's something that's common. But let me go ahead and press pause here, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm going to try this without a funnel. I don't know where I left my funnel, but let me take off the oil cap. You could kind of see there. Let me see if I could focus it a little bit better. I don't know if I can. But you can see there's a little bit of like build up there. So I'm kind of thinking maybe there's a little bit of gunk in there. It's hard to tell right now, but I don't think it's nice and clean like it should be. But like I said, here goes the Amsoil Engine and Transmission Flush. It says to pour the contents of the bottle in there. So let's go ahead and do that. And then you have to run this for about 10 to 15 minutes at idle. That's what the bottle recommends. It's very liquidy, almost like pretty much like water. So we'll see what this does. And what I'm going to do is this is going to close out part one. After this, I'm going to drop the oil, and I'm going to see if I can show you video of the oil if possible. It's it's kind of difficult with, you know, holding tools and doing the recording. But I'll come back. I'm gonna let this idle for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna use the max amount of time, and I'll check back with you. All right, wish me luck. All right, guys, I changed my mind. I want to make sure I show you the first startup right after the Amsoil. Let's see how it runs if the PSI, the pressure in the oil gauge actually goes up. Let's test it. All right, it sounds okay, but again, you can see my pressure is still low. I don't have a mechanical gauge to test this, but we'll see how this works out. So I'm gonna leave it for about 15 minutes. Right now it's about the same. I don't really feel a difference at the moment, but let's see if that changes after 15 minutes of doing this. All right, so I'll definitely check back with you. Right now you can see it's actually dropping, so that's not a good sign for me, but we'll find out in 15 minutes, and then I'll drop the oil. All right, I'll check back with all of you.